Morning, it's Tuesday, May the 26th, and I want to read from a verse in Proverbs. It's one that I think is very applicable during this current time and whatnot. Proverbs 16:24. Pleasant words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. I love the book of Proverbs. I know I'm not alone in that. There are many preachers and teachers who love teaching through that book. And one of the reasons is that when Solomon started dictating all this wisdom that he wanted us to follow, well, his sons, but by extension us, it's obvious that it has an application far beyond the time that he actually dictated it. I think here especially when we talk about pleasant words being a honeycomb and they're sweet to the soul and healing to the bones, it's something smart to take into your mind as you go from day to day. One of the things that I've noticed in this quarantine time especially, though it is starting to loosen up and we are getting out a little bit more, but there are periods of times when the only people you're going to come into contact with were your family. And many times we don't think before we speak. And the words that we give out are not loving. They're not a honeycomb. You're throwing daggers instead. It could be because you're worked up about being stuck at home. It could be because things aren't going your way on a project you're doing. It could be for any number of reasons. And then that one person says something and just instead of thinking before you say a word, your reaction is very unsweet, very honeycomb-like. We need to understand as we interact with other people, as we begin to open up, you see a lot of people getting upset at workers who work at stores and restaurants because things are just being so different. Well, there's going to be a lot of different. Let us remember that when we're out and about, when we're interacting with people, whether it be with family at home or anybody that we come into contact with on a day-to-day basis, let us remember that our words mean something. And I don't mean the words themselves. The tone and the way we offer them mean something. And as a Christian, it is our job to share the love of Christ as well as the need for a Savior. And if you're doing it in a pleasant way, if you're sharing in a way that is pleasing like a honeycomb, that is going to be sweet to the soul and healing to the bones, then you have a chance to share the gospel with them. But if you're not watching what you say, if you're not watching the way that you act, if you're not careful about the message you're conveying, you will have no chance to share the words that truly bring life. So my challenge to you today is watch and think about what you say before you say it. So often we find ourselves hurting people unnecessarily and unintentionally because we don't do this. James was very clear that we need to watch the tongue, put a bridle on the tongue. And here, we need to watch what we say. I don't know about you, but I want to be pleasing, give pleasing words. I want people, when they hear what I have to say, to feel that it's sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. I don't want to be a source of pain and agony. I hope you all have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.